Hey everybody, Kenny here. This is going to be kind of an endgame roundup thing where I show you some tips and stuff for how to clear up some of the endgame kind of things. But before we get going, I just want to offer up a few words of advice on what to wait for before you kind of start tackling the side content in this game. The first is I highly recommend waiting until you have all of the party members, so all 12 party members, and I highly recommend having recruited all of the recruits for your base, which is, I don't have any footage of where to find the recruits in this video, just because there's actually an NPC that you recruit right at the start when you first unlock the base that tells you exactly where to go. What I will recommend though is also to hold off until you reach this specific room. This room where you find this key in this little chest and where you find this note right here telling you about an island. This is pretty much at the end of the game, but I'm not including any context here so as not to spoil anything. So just know that you will find this room eventually. And this is your indication that you can do all of the side stuff that is available to do in the game. This is your go point. With that stuff out of the way, let me start off with showing where to find all of the class emblems in the game. The first one, of course, is unmissable. It's right in Farnsport, and you'll have to pass by it on your way out of the sewers. And that, of course, is the Cleric class emblem. But in case you decided not to get it when it first came available, I'll just show the way to get back to that statue here. The next one is in Rohlan Fields on the southwest of the area. Is also the position where my preferred SP farming spot is. That's where you'll find the warrior. Then over in Fior Woods, starting from Eden, you can take the route I'm showing. Which will eventually lead you to this hidden route here that is kind of shown by the leaves and the darkness of the trees. And through there you will find a research camp, and in the little pier area you'll find the next class emblem. Then in Perpetua, if you head over near this little kind of mushroom bridge area, then climb up the rocks here, and then climb up to this elevated plateau area where the scorpion things are. And just north of them will be the next class emblem. Once you have that, if you go to the world map and go back to the monastery, you will be able to get a class emblem from there as well. Your airship should leave you right nearby it. Then over at Rock Bottom, if you take the path that you had to take to escape the town during that section of the game, then you will find this little hidden woodland path right here, which will bring you to the next emblem. Then over in the Arkhant archipelago, you just fly to the southwest quadrant of the map. You'll find the next emblem. I know that I've stopped saying the names after the first two because I don't want to spoil it if it's something that you're worried about getting spoiled. Then up in the Shambala region, also in the kind of southwest quadrant or southwest section for this map, there is another class emblem. And finally, for the ones that can be found normally, you can head into Ograne grottos. And while following the path I'm showing here, you may or may not have to take on a unique monster here. I figure I'll just, show this one to get it out of the way for later. and you get the last of the regular ones. So that's the first 9 out of the way. Now for the last 3, once you have completed Shambala in the story, you'll receive a key that you can use to head back to Perpetua. And then in the southeast region, you'll find this little kind of church here. And inside of there, you will unlock the path. Well, you'll learn the location of the final 3 that you'll be able to reach from the world map. Now, in case you don't want to have the puzzle spoiled, go to the timestamps in the description and skip past the next 3 parts, because those will be the solutions to the puzzles in those 3 class emblem areas. If you've been having trouble with the puzzles, then I just leave this little insert in just to let you know that I'm just going to be keeping quiet for the entirety of these sections, since the solutions speak for themselves. And with all of the class emblems out of the way, I can show you my favorite SP farming spot in the game. So right by the warrior class emblem statue, there is this encounter with 5 pig ears in it. If you have a unit that can deal an area attack, then you can easily clear this out. Then if you have collected all of the recruits in the game, then you'll get anywhere from 5 to 28 SP off of this encounter. Then you just fast travel back to this crystal here, repeat, and you'll master every class super fast. It's the best SP farm in the game, hands down. Now, for crystal farming, I once again highly recommend having gotten all of the recruits. If you have, then you'll be able to access the NPC here in the bar area that will let you choose the type of crystals that you can gather. Also, by having recruited all of the base recruits, you'll also get all kinds of extra benefits for crystal farming, from being able to choose which crystal, being able to look at the options for what crystals you could get, getting more crystals from each yield, being able to sell, you choose none and get money instead. All kinds of really cool stuff for quality of life. So where I like to start off in this is to go to Shambala and use the route I'm showing here. Obviously, I'm speeding all this up in post, so you don't have to sit through all this at normal speed. Then once I've collected everything from there, I usually head down into Ograne. You can either go from this crystal spot here or the one by the Nisa elevator. Both of them will allow you to get one crystal spot on the way to the spot that I'm showing here. Where you just have a whole bunch just in this same room. So I grab all of these. And then once I'm done here, I head over to the wooden bridge area in the Fior Woods zone. As with the rest, just follow the path that I'm taking here. Yeah, doing this, you'll make tons of money and collect tons of crystals in no time. But usually, like when I did my all of my grinding, what I would do is I would go and run the entire circuit that I'm showing here. So Shambala, Ograne, Fior Woods, and finally Kortara. And once I was done with my full circuit, then I would go to the SP farming spot and just do 10 encounters there. Then head back to the Shambala spot and start the whole circuit over again. The reason being that once you complete the full circuit, if you were to go straight back to Shambala, then you'd still be on the cooldown timer for that first set of nodes. So you can see right here that the node still hasn't refreshed. So, you're going to have to take time to, you need time for it to come back anyway. So doing some SP farming is just a better use of your time. Now, from this point, you may want to skip around because these are going to be all of the unique monster locations. Since obviously you're going to know about Pack the Yak here, and possibly the Mimic over here, and Leaping the Frog. This is your warning that everything from here on is going to be spoiler territory in case you don't want to know what the unique monsters look like, but these are going to be all of them. If you're still here, then the unique monster of note in Kortara is going to be Goldie Waterfly. If you head over into the southeast, you'll find these regular waterflies. Just kill them in mass, and once you've killed 10 of them, just head up all the way north, and on this bridge here, this is where Goldie Waterfly will be. So just if it's not there, then just go back to that spot and kill waterflies until it's there. Back in Fior Woods, run around this kind of tree encampment thing, and this bushel of trees, and after a few rotations, you'll run into the unique monster Excalibur. And then once you defeat Excalibur, you have to run. You can't fast travel. You need to run all the way over to the bridges. And when you get over to this spot here, you'll run into Arthos. Then over in Arkhant, if you remove your character's armor, then you'll be able to take on Otter Nobunaga right here. Then in the southeast region, if you have all mage party members, then you'll be able to run into Hairy Otter right here. Then over in Perpetua, you'll be able to run into the Capo right here outside of the little cave where you had to do the Nisa unlocking quest. Then down in the south, in the same area where you got the location of the final class emblems, there are little spots where like you'll kind of see like the sand kind of shifting, like little like sand clouds emerging. If you drop down to those spots, like they'll disappear, and if you do this enough times, then you'll run into the unique monster for this area, which is a sandworm enemy. Then up in Shambala, if you have enough money, then this golden egg will show up in this part right here. And then in the northeast, in this little island, you'll find this dragon here. Then down in Ograne Grottos, if you were here for the class emblem part, then you know this is where you fight in one of the Ograne uniques. Then once you have done the final endgame like extra dungeon, like you'll have access to this part of Ograne Grottos, which is where you'll be able to take on Gob, Bog, the real Gob, I think his name is. That's all the unique monsters in the game. Now this here is going to be my setup for how to get the survive 5 actions by the Earthworms. Like it's a fairly straightforward strategy. Just make sure that you have 2 characters with Silver Lining on, that you have Sienna with her Shadow Step and Lightning Rod skills, and that you have Raphael with the Swift Sandals on, so that he can go first and use his ultimate to protect the entire party from the earthquake attack that these guys do. And then you should guaranteed be able to get this as long as Raphael went first in the encounter. And that's going to be it for this video. If you found these tips useful, I appreciate doing my YouTube stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay Victus, bye Zenumeris, and bye.